think it's a safe statement to say that Assassin's Creed is one of the most iconic gaming franchises ever. But that's not to say it's been perfect, of course. In fact, I mean, at this point, a lot of gamers would likely agree there are more bad Assassin's Creed games than good ones. But Ubisoft has been putting a lot of effort into fixing the IP's reputation, and one of the major ways they're planning on doing that is with Assassin's Creed Infinity. And it's going to be a game hub that's supposed to launch later this year. But just when is it coming out, and what is it? In today's video, we're going to go over absolutely everything we know and everything that's been confirmed or leaked about Assassin's Creed Infinity. So you let me know. Do you think Ubisoft has a good idea here? When we're done with this video, drop a like. And for some of you that may have been out of the loop, Infinity is a franchise hub that we were first made aware of back in mid-2021. That's right, almost 3 years ago. I mean, 3 years later, and we still don't have much intel directly from Ubisoft about what this thing will look like in motion or when we can expect to see it launch. But according to insider sources, AC Infinity is going to be using a platform or hub for future Assassin's Creed games, although it's actually unclear exactly how that's going to work. Will it be an actual playable hub like the Tower in Destiny? Will we be able to run around Assassin's Creed Infinity's world and enter upcoming AC games that way? Or is it basically just going to be a Netflix-type app for the Assassin's Creed series? We're going to answer some of those today, or we're going to try to. Before we move on, if you get anything from G2A.com, use code CHAOS. The link is at the top of the description. Get you some cash back. Now, Ubisoft reportedly has over a dozen Assassin's Creed games in the works right now, which is crazy to think about. They are planning big things for the future. As many of you know, Ubisoft got themselves into financial hot water over the last few years due to their over-reliance on full-price live service games that often had things like paid time savers and other arguably pay-to-win mechanics, again, in full-price games. Now, they knew that they had to take a step back and reestablish themselves as a gamer-first company, and one of the ways they apparently are doing that is with a lot of Assassin's Creed projects, including the ninja-themed AC Red, and the mysterious AC Hex, and a handful of multiplayer games, and at least one remake of a classic Xbox 360-era AC game. We know Black Flag is getting a remake, so there's actually rumors that we may be getting a remake of the original Assassin's Creed. We'll have to wait and see what they actually confirm in the coming months. And serving as a way to tie all that in, the ambitious Assassin's Creed Infinity. Now, presumably also going to provide some kind of story context for all the games, creating this narrative across the entire franchise, which would be awesome. I often refer to the MCU. Think of it in that way. This is going to be the Assassin's Creed's version of the MCU. Now, there have been conflicting reports over whether AC Infinity is actually going to launch, and with some sources claiming last year that Ubisoft was actually going to launch it with AC Mirage integrated, but obviously that didn't happen. It's believed that AC Red is going to be the first AC game to launch on this platform, meaning Infinity should be launching on the same day as Red, or at least a little bit before that way, so Ubisoft can actually iron out the kinks, make sure it's actually ready to go. But it was also recently reported by Tom Henderson, who has gotten countless leaks correct over the years, so I believe what he says, that AC Red has been pushed back to the first half of 2025, meaning Ubisoft is no longer trying to get it out by the end of this year. They have referred to AC Red as the biggest blockbuster of 2024 multiple times, but I have a few theories as to why they've seemingly pushed the game into next year. Skull and Bones launched in February after years and years of waiting, and I think it was a huge financial disappointment for Ubisoft. Now, despite the gigantic budget and pretty sizable marketing campaign, Skull and Bones did not resonate with the gamers. I mean, due to the simple gameplay and the boring gameplay loop. Why would you play Skull and Bones when you can go play Sea of Thieves? Seriously. Skull and Bones has surely lost Ubisoft tens of millions of dollars, possibly even crossing over that $100 million loss mark, and their investors are not going to be happy about that when they have their next financial meeting. So, with all that being said, it makes sense for AC Red to be pushed back to 2025 at this point. Ubisoft is very likely going to have a pretty bad financial year due to the insane losses of Skull and Bones, so even if AC Red came out later this year, sold super well, the profits wouldn't look as impressive to shareholders when it's put in the same year as Skull and Bones, if that makes sense to you guys. So basically, instead of using AC Red as their savior, Ubisoft is instead going to use it as a way to kick off 2025 strongly. And since that also means the devs will have more time to polish the experience and make it as good as possible, I'm on board with this decision. Now, assuming AC Red truly is pushed back to 2025, when does that mean AC Infinity comes out? Ubisoft made it clear they're planning on using Red as the first new AC experience to launch through the Infinity platform. But like I said earlier, we don't know if that means Infinity is launching the same day as Red or a bit earlier. Personally, I'm expecting Infinity to go live a few weeks prior to Red, possibly early access, beta, whatever, so that way Ubisoft can avoid that awkward hypothetical nightmare scenario of AC Infinity not working on AC Red's launch day. Infinity, it's a strange project when you look at it, and the last thing Ubisoft needs is a bad launch day for it. So, I say expect Infinity to drop a few weeks before Red, which is supposedly going to launch in the first few months of 2025. Now, does all this mean you have to go through AC Infinity in order to play new Assassin's Creed games? Well, when the Black Flag remake comes out, am I going to be forced to boot the game through the Infinity platform, or will I just be able to launch the app normally like other games? I'm actually on the fence here, because if Call of Duty has taught us anything over the last few years, it's that people do not like being forced into multi-game hub screens in order to play the game they already paid for. So in case you dropped Call of Duty years ago, or you need a refresher, when you launch one of the COD games from 2019 or later, instead of taking you to the game's main menu, it takes you to a hub screen with a whole bunch of Call of Duty games. Now, from that screen, you can actually launch one of the games that you own, but if you don't own the games, you can buy it there. Now, it's not a bad idea in theory, especially since Call of Duty has new games coming out every year. But it's also no secret that people are really annoyed with the COD hub screen nowadays, because it's basically just Activision advertising more Call of Duty games to you before you can play the Call of Duty games that you already spent your money on. The mandatory hub screen also pretty noticeably increases load times. And if there's one thing that a game should never do, it's waste the player's time. So Ubisoft should be very wise here to make sure AC Infinity is not required to be a part of launching new Assassin's Creed games, if you want my opinion on it. Now, if Ubisoft is looking for influence for AC Infinity, I think they should be looking at Halo Waypoint. Do you guys remember that? This was a companion app for the Halo series that had a bunch of lore to read through and secrets for you to comb over, and none of it was actually required in order to play Halo. If you didn't ever want to use Waypoint, you didn't have to. But if you cared about Halo lore, you were probably a big fan of Waypoint, what it had to offer. If Ubisoft treats AC Infinity as the AC version of Halo Waypoint, with the addition of being able to launch games through it, I think they could have a home run. They could use AC Infinity as a way to promote upcoming games and tease new projects, while also serving as a hub to buy and launch Assassin's Creed games. I mean, you can read the Assassin's Creed comics, watch the upcoming Assassin's Creed TV show. You can get immersed in the cinematic Assassin's Creed universe, or whatever they're going to call it. We don't know. Just don't make it mandatory to launch a new Assassin's Creed game. Don't make it a requirement. You're going to burn through all the good that you're working so hard to build back up if you do stuff like that. So, in closing, I think Infinity will launch before Red. And I think Red is going to launch in the first quarter of 2025. So don't expect anything massive from Assassin's Creed as a franchise for the rest of 2024. But 2025 and on, I think we are going to ramp up with a whole new universe, and it's going to be integrated and connected on multiple layers. And if you're a fan of Assassin's Creed just in genuine, it's going to be exciting times. Let me know what you guys think. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you soon.